I got the remainder of the roof studding and roof insulation ripped out of the 2008 Shorty here. We've got significantly more room. I can actually stand between the ribs here fairly comfortably. So I wonder how I can use that to my advantage. But what I'm really interested in doing right now is getting to these bolts which hold the roof rails on, because the roof rails have some rust that need to be touched up. So I'd like to do that before I get going. Now, let's talk about V1 of this van. Now this van, I would like to have folding beds like the solar van. Usually though, I'll just be using it with one bed and a desk. Up here, I have so much room in front of the bed area. Like, this is a lot. Probably some kind of countertop, definitely swivel seats. And I've got so much room inside the step here too. I don't know. So much potential in this van. Some good before shots. There's a lot of rust in this roof rail area and also at the seams. It's still just surface rust, so I'm gonna sand it down and paint it today while it's nice out. I have to get some of this old sealant up and then probably get a hand in putting these roof rails back on. They came off in two pieces, one long piece down to about here and then a shorter piece. Presumably that's so that they can just have one long standard piece and then make a longer or shorter piece for your van's length. The other side's the same way, but I'm gonna start with this side and I'm gonna start up front and work my way back. You can see the progress here. You can see I've masked off the window as well. I don't want to get any overspray on my windows. You can see the reformer pretty much covers up the rust, and I am sanding as I'm going too. I'm about to sand all this down so that I can just pretty much get it out of the way at Green Van too, of course, before I do that. Well. Once I let the rust reformer dry, I went over everything I sprayed black with Rust-Oleum gloss, and it's not perfect yet, but wow, looks so much better than the other side. I think one side is all I'm going to be able to do today. Well, it unfortunately rained before I had a chance to finish. It's beautiful outside now. I'm gonna have to get this into the sun and let it dry for a little bit. This is the last spot I worked on. It doesn't really look that great right now, but I'm not even gonna touch it. The roof rails, which had some actually plenty of time to dry, look way better now. I mean, not the greatest. No professional at this. Up front here, had some time to dry before the rain came, and it looks okay, but again, not even going to touch it. You can really see the paint difference here, but you know, this was my cheap van fix. So now, before I tear down the other roof rail and take care of that, I really want to finish touching up the seams here, right there and right there, and up front there. And anywhere else there's paint missing. There's lots of tiny rust spots, but I'm not really worried about touching up the really tiny ones. Like, all this will get painted when the bigger ones like this get painted. But in the middle here, yeah, not too worried about that. Day 3, remodeling the 2008 low roof Sprinter. Today I'm going to pull the passenger side roof rails. I've already pulled the nuts off and placed them in a bin. But I haven't broken the sealant yet. I already did it on the driver's side. I used some of this aluminum tape here on the inside just to keep paint from getting in. I think today or tomorrow I'm going to put the roof rails back on here with sealant and everything, so I'm not really too worried about a little bit of water getting in here for the next few days. I've stripped pretty much everything else out of here. It's really just like a mess right now. But yeah, I need to get a roof fan on the way here because this roof vent, not gonna cut it. But I can't blame the previous owner for putting this in. She took a roof AC off. Roof AC is something I would have taken off anyway. So I'm trying to come up with what I want to fabric cover the white metal area here with. I kind of like these stock panels. I think they're gonna clean up really well. Ignore that. Maybe not so. But if I come up with a good fabric for this, it should be easy to find something that I can recover these with to match. It might stay but I'm already starting to beat it up a little bit, so we'll have to see what it looks like after I'm done. Let's take a look at my roof. I'm gonna have to put some more paint over here, but there's a rust area that I touched up. These seams over here are rusting a bit. Gonna have to put another coat here once it dries a little bit. There's a lot of really small spots over here that they really need to be sanded and rust reformed. Roof rails are looking pretty good today. Of course, this is where much of the effort went. A few spots that could stand to be touched up. And here's where it gets to be a little shitty and messy up here. I kind of covered where the paint was missing, but it's not very good. Not to mention it's all dirty up here again. Here were more rusty seams that needed to be rust reformed and painted. Sanded too, of course. They were sanded before I rust reformed and painted them. I haven't even really touched this side yet. You can see there's another big spot of paint missing over here that I'm going to sand and spray a little bit of rust reformer on. And you can see this side's roof rails. Whew. Yep, this is what the other side looked like before I sanded and rust reformed it, so. Now I can already hear the comments yelling at me for doing this in the rain. Don't worry, I didn't. Much of these shots were recorded between work and either after it rained or while I was letting it dry. All the work was performed dry. I cleaned everything before I sanded it. I cleaned everything after I sanded it. And most of the bad spots you're seeing are mostly due to old paint cans. It looks good in the roof rail where it can all be contained, but on the forehead it's a little rough. We'll fix that up later. Alright, day 2 passenger roof repair. You can see I've already got some of the rust reform all the way up to the windshield here, and a big spot over here. I've already started to gloss white the roof rail area, and I've got an area over here I still need to do, and I need to get down over there and make sure that all the way through on this side is painted evenly. But things are coming along pretty well. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do about my splotchy area on the forehead, but whatever. As usual, the roof rail side cleaned up really well because it's all surface rust that I caught early, so I think it's going to be good for a while after this. Well, I've exhausted my paint supply, made an oopsie, but the critical areas, both sides where the roof rails sit rather, they look pretty good. You can see here really cleaned up. Some of this paint is still drying, so I'm going to give it, of course, plenty of time to dry and cure before I put rails back on. The bigger spots here are still going to need some more work. They did not clean up so easily, but that's going to have to wait for more paint, and these spots are all easy to get to at any time. The roof rails, I wanted to make sure we're done the best. Everything else is just kind of touch up, you know, until I can get to it. Besides that, oopsie. Thanks for watching. On the next episode of the Shorty Rescue series, we will be reattaching the roof rails with new sealant. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe if you like what we're doing, and ring the bell so you don't miss when we upload a video.